It's winners final time here in Arlington at the first major of the year, and we have two teams who have undoubtedly looked a little bit above the rest when it comes to their performance so far here in Texas. Shopify Rebellion on one side of our stage, but on the other side of the stage, a FaZe clan that looks a little bit different to maybe what some people were expecting coming into this tournament.
They do indeed. It's a perfect FaZe clan. 15-0 so far in the tournament, going up against a 15-3 Shopify Rebellion. This will be your map set for your winners final. We'll kick things off on CTF Origin, then into Slayer Recharge, King of the Hill Live Fire, and if we need them, Assault Aquarius and Slayer Streets to round it out.
And you mentioned those map records of both of these teams. Now, Shopify undoubtedly had a little bit more of a war to get to this position in this winners final phase. When you look at the seeds of the teams they've gone up against, maybe a little bit of an easier road, but the fact that they are perfect and the style of which they have been perfect is something that certainly caught our eye.
Yeah, it's just like they said on the desk. It's two very different brackets, two very different roads up until this point. And really now this is FaZe's first test against the Big Four. Let's not forget, Shopify has already taken down the other two in the Big Four to get here. Now FaZe is realizing we were going to have to find the three best teams here eventually, and now they're facing their first opponent within the top four in Shopify Rebellion. As we said, map number one, CTF Origin, very limited amount of game type data for these two teams on this, so it will be a fresh start here. We're underway in game number one.
Is it going to be Frosty sliding straight for that sniper rifle? Looks like a little bit of a delayed start. And just something to keep in mind as well for some of the players who are on our main stage on these teams is a couple of players who haven't made a major final as yet. Keep your eye on Suppressed too. Famously on that Shopify Rebellion team of last year, had a little bit of a struggle when it came to Sundays.
Yeah, certainly. Big question here as three do fall for Shopify. Frosty was your last player alive. See what Suppressed can do with him on the BR, and he takes him down. And I believe he bodies LastShot as well. I should mention, I said good morning to Suppressed on the way into the venue this morning, and he looked at me and he said, out for blood. And I wish I was kidding. This man is here and ready to play.
Yeah, FaZe really want this. If you needed to know what it means to FaZe, I think this tournament, with maybe some of the disrespect they would feel, that people predicting them where they've been predicting them not to be a championship winning team, they want to come in and really prove themselves here. It's 3 dead at the moment for FaZe after a hot start. Shopify Rebellion with a little bit of control of the snipe side.
Frosty stayed alive just long enough to make sure his teammates are able to spawn and make the move, and I think there's so much to talk about in this series, and it's wild that we're here on Origin. We haven't even mentioned it yet. Of course, a big priority for FaZe Clan is keeping not just control of the power weapons, but keep them out of the hands of Frosty on this map.
It's a really strong start, and
there he is.
Unfortunately, Frosty's got that sniper rifle in his hand, Suppressed off of spawn. In the cave, managed to slow things down for a second, but as you say, 4 players fall, and when you've got Frosty sat up on the top of the catwalk with a sniper rifle in his hand, for FaZe is lucky he's only got 1 bullet, but he still finds a kill with it.
Pznguin got through, huge opportunity for Pznguin on the flank. Let's see if he's able to get here. In the back of the base, he's gonna get pinned down from the elbow. They should be able to take him down.
First flank goes in, and the worry here for FaZe Clan is they're 3 dead once again. However, TriPPPeY has managed to just about clear out his base. There was an opportunity maybe for Shopify to go back-to-back with flag caps, but they are the pieces going together for Shopify Rebellion. Frosty gets the snipe, they get the 4 dead, and they do not make a mistake.
There's so much riding here on this matchup, not just because it's your winners bracket final, but also because this is Shopify's first match of the day. And if you watched last season, you know all about Shopify Rebellion's Sunday scaries. A lot of trouble for them on Sundays, even a top 6 finish at the World Championship. Didn't even get to play on that final day. So much riding here. They want to correct that narrative. They want to change the story about how Shopify looks on a championship Sunday.
Well, let's talk about Royal 2. The man on your screen is 6-1 at the start of this game, and Shopify are running a flag once more. It's 2 dead, 3 dead, as another player comes off the respawn, and it's looking like this might be a 2-0 lead very soon, as the thrust is good enough to pick up a kill in the base, as Cykul at the other end of Origin slams home the second flag for Shopify.
That is World 2 insult to injury there as your team is capping. That cap was already guaranteed, and he's just styling on him from the elbow. And as a result, already 8-2 in this game. How about that? You're 1 flag away and you're quadruple positive. What a start from him.
Mentioned how Shopify seem to have just mastered the new game types and game modes here in Infinite. And it's looking like this could be an opportunity for the final flag to go in as well. It's 3 dead, Falcated last one alive. Cykul on the snipe side with a rocket still to play with, and the flag was moving, but Falcated, as last alive, has stalled this flag for a second and gave FaZe a slim opportunity, maybe to get off the respawn here and get this flag back home, but they're going to have to make some plays.
Yeah, Fal just staying alive. Pznguin does a very nice job to get out of the cave there and avoid that rocket completely. Maybe we'll even get this kill here at the bottom of the base.
Yeah, Cykul gets taken down, but I want to really give props to Falcated there. He was the last one alive, got 1 kill, but actually get past that and get the second kill, and that just allowed the rest of his teammates to get back onto the map. Without Fal getting those kills, this game's over.
Things slow down for just a moment as both flags do return. 8 minutes left on the clock, but you have a feeling as LastShot picks up another 2, by the way, he's 12 and 5. Finally, Cykul will be taken down. You have the feeling that the amount of kills on the board, it's only maybe a matter of time before Shopify finds another one.
Just put the sniper away for a second there, looking for the trade onto Royal 2, but Royal 2 got the jump on Pznguin, got that first shot in, meaning that he wouldn't trade in that battle. And that sniper rifle was down. Not sure if it fell off the map or if it is still clinging on to the edge of the outskirts of Origin, but LastShot 13 and 6, by the way. I'd say quietly going about his business, but that's nothing outside of exceptional when it comes to a statistic.
Remarkable, and you know, just he can feel the opportunity here on this day with this team. And coming with excellence, however, it was 2 dead for Shopify as this flag continues to run. LastShot needs to stay alive here.
Cykul gets one, TriPPPeY gets the kill. It's actually Pznguin who comes in to help out. Falcated did get taken down, I think, on that flag run, so the flag isn't home quite as yet. Shopify making this one awkward, making this one difficult. But now the touch does come in, and with Shopify 2 dead, this could be an opportunity for FaZe to strike and get their first flag on the board. They put this one home. TriPPPeY will half the deficit. It's now 2-1 with 7 minutes remaining.
Really great patience there from TriPPPeY. Notice how he let all those flags come through trench and bottom middle. He wanted no part of those. He lets all 4 of them explode before he goes for the flag touch. And right around the same time, his team is wiping up those kills. 4 dead off the respawns as well. There will be no counter. FaZe will continue with map control.
And now they're going to have an opportunity to trap Shopify in the back of the base. This is what FaZe needed. One flag, and then all of a sudden it doesn't feel like that much of a deficit to try and come back from. Inside of the base, Pznguin got those rockets as well. Falcated's found one with that sidekick, and they're suppressed picking up the rockets. It's 4 dead again for Shopify, and what felt like a Shopify game, a Shopify map is turning on its head.
Oh, beautifully done. We talked about this new aggressive FaZe. You saw TriPPPeY yesterday doing things he wasn't allowed to do based on other teammates grabbing the snipers. But yesterday and today, they are showing up in a huge way. It's back-to-back 4 deads, and it is back-to-back caps for FaZe Clan. Just like that, we are tied 2-2.
50 seconds or so between those 2 caps, and FaZe now sent into a next cap win situation. Sniper coming up on that snipe side as all the attention moves towards it. Falcated still doing so much work with that sidekick, by the way. LastShot's trying to sneak through to the silver. And TriPPPeY aware of his position. This is a 2 dead situation on both sides, but now it's a 3 dead for Shopify, and TriPPPeY says, hey, there's going to be no one here to stop me. I'm grabbing this thing and I'll put it to use.
Amazing, 3 dead again. Look at the control coming in. It's a staggered 4 dead. Spawners in the elbow here. And they had the setup. Might be able to convert again and steal this game out from underneath Shopify.
And something I love here, Falcated aggressive inside the base, pushing past his teammates, looking to get that flag moving, but TriPPPeY can't quite connect on the big shots that really matter in that situation. A couple of headshots there, that flag's moving.
As you say, gets the stop just in time. Royal 2 flies into the cave and says, let me take that last bullet, see if I can put it to use. 2 dead for both sides here.
Royal 2 just looking for a pick here. Ooh, timing not quite on his side this time. Pznguin's not looking at him though. Gets bodied, but keeps himself still breathing. 5 minutes now left in this game, 2 minutes elapsed.
Wow.
Since we last checked in. And those 2 caps from FaZe now make this a very nervy feeling end to this game. Frosty going for this flagpole. 2 dead here for FaZe. He needs to get this kill.
Oh, big
cuts him down.
Gosh, to get that kill on the bridge is so huge. Just look how this would have been different. Flag is still running, by the way, so it's a must kill for Pznguin. However, they might not be out of the woods just yet. It's still 2 dead.
LastShot gets another as well. It's 2 dead again for FaZe. 3 dead momentarily. Rockets are coming up, but nobody's going to worry about that on the map. It's all about getting this flag back home here for Shopify Rebellion. That's exactly what they will do. And even though FaZe put those 2 on the board and tied the game up after being down by 2, it's Shopify Rebellion who pull out that 3rd flag and will take it game number 1.
Wow. Amazing way to start the series. You thought that might be a little bit of a walk in the park for the side of Shopify, but instead FaZe rallies back. They dig deep, tie up the game, and in the end, it's only an 8-minute game. Does not go the distance time-wise, but certainly goes the different distance in terms of total flags that you can see in regulation. It's 3-2 in the end in favor of Shopify. They will take game number 1, but it's clear that this series will have a lot to offer.
And interestingly, when you're looking at that win, we got a little peek at the statistics there. Frosty, a little bit quiet in that game, 9 and 14, but no worries because the man who was giving us a thumbs up in those player pitches, the LastShot, 18 and 11 from him, outclassing everyone in the lobby when it comes to those kills.
Yeah, remarkable from him. And like we said, feels like this year is so big for LastShot. so good last year that you couldn't ignore him. Now he finds himself on the #1 seeded team. Same with Cykul. What do they do with this year in terms of their career, their legacy that they're building? You get the feeling that those two young guns they appreciate and they understand what is riding on not just this year, but even this event off the rip. And they're putting up the numbers to back it up.
Lots to take away from that game, number one. I want to take you back to the moment, actually, where TriPPPeY had the sniper rifle towards the cave, looking at those spawns that were coming in from Shopify Rebellion. It was a 3 or 4 dead situation, and he had the opportunity, not easy shots. This is the exact situation we're talking about. Hits a nice one there, but it was the follow-up from that. Shopify Rebellion, you have to give them credit. They make them difficult shots. But if, and it's a big if, TriPPPeY hits a couple of headshots there, or even hits the bodies, Falcated maybe lives, and that could be a very different looking game. But that has kind of been the story for FaZe, right? It's been very close games going down to the wire, but the series, when it's finished, always seems to go against them. Is that going to be another example at the end of this series we'll look back on, or will FaZe be able to put that right?
That's the question. And with that win, Shopify Rebellion will not only steal game 1, but they will end FaZe's unbeaten streak here at the Optic Major, dropping their first game in the winner's bracket final, and in their first meeting here of the Big Four, they find themselves losing by 1 flag. Question is, will Shopify take that momentum and bring it right into game number 2? This is a big game here for FaZe. You do not want to go 2-0 in this series.
It's an opportunity for them as well, because we talked about Shopify Rebellion Slayers. They've been pretty good, but they're not exceptional. There's a few weaknesses. There's a few games that slip through their fingers when it comes to game number 2s. And for FaZe, when you look at this lineup, it feels like a team that's built for success in Slayers. One thing that you're going to have to do as any team in the Halo Championship Series when you go up against Shopify is if you get a shot up and you're taking a 1v1, you have to win it. And when you're looking at the type of players, I'm looking at Suppressed, Falcated, it's very rare that you'll see them lose those fights. So if they can keep that momentum up, if they can win those important must-win battles where they have the advantages, I feel like FaZe have got something to say here.
Absolutely, and let's forget yesterday, right? Frosty was like, hey, make sure we're winning our 1s. Let's take these individual battles. Let's not team shoot as much as we can, if you caught that in the comms. And they're going to bring that into this Game 2 Slayer as well. Let's forget, FaZe is also, of course, as a result of their record, undefeated in Slayer thus far. We'll see if Shopify can do it again here. We're underway in Game 2.
This man started off with a no-scope in the last game. This time he's got the battle rifle in his hands and doing some good cross-mat damage to allow TriPPPeY to move in and get that camo. And he's got it almost uncontested, it looks like, but look at that poke. And that coordination coming out of Shopify Rebellion. 2 players just fly through the tower, but the damage was enough for TriPPPeY to clean both kills up. Walk out of that situation with camo, the lead, and a little double kill to go alongside it.
Really nicely done there. 3 dead, as you saw on the score, but TriPPPeY somehow makes sure to get not just these damage, but also these kills. 4-3 here. Quite even off the break. Tiny bit of camo left for TriPPPeY here.
Frosty's just picked up a double kill and he has that shock rifle. That's a really, really important kill. Not just the fact that it takes the shock out of the hands of Shopify Rebellion, but just stops a bit of momentum from Frosty as well. How often do we see him turn a double into a triple, then he's repositioned, and all of a sudden, you got a shock rifled Frosty to worry about on the map. But TriPPPeY played that really well. Now he's playing his life. For the trade inside of pipes, his teammate Pznguin should be there, but he gets stuck by LastShot, who just has this ability to turn a 1 into a 2.
Somehow LastShot from the battle edge with absolutely no shields nor health gets a little bit of a death stick coming out. However, the game now tied at 9-9. 2 dead for Shopify. They're going to have to reset here together off the respawn.
Looks like Falcated knows where those spawns are coming in. There's actually 3 players from Shopify Rebellion who are in and around the elevator. Now they've moved out a little bit to try and take some space, but it means that they're kind of walking into a couple of FaZe players, but they win those individual fights again. LastShot, Royal 2, and Cykul all rotate back to elevator. Well, Cykul should be able to clean this one up. Suppress comes out of that with 2, and you have to say in that situation, which felt like a bit of a disadvantageous one, be happy to come out with that double.
Yeah, staggered 4 dead gives FaZe Clan now a 1 kill lead and still top gold control. Spawns coming in glass as well as long haul. But just like that, LastShot right off the rip. We're tied 14-14.
Camo coming up in 3 seconds time. See that FaZe are trying to get in a position to contest this. TriPPPeY's on somewhat of a flank here. Has that commando. There's multiple players here. They're the ones we're talking about, and that's a big win from Royal 2.
Big win. That's also a tough angle from TriPPPeY. As 3 fall, Falcated was the last player alive bottom middle, now at orange door. Gets away with camo, does not! No! It's a camo burn. A big set of plays here now for Shopify.
And think about that. Royal 2 wins the individual.
Yep.
Somehow stays alive. Then he comes back. And Falcated doesn't get away with the camo. All of these things based on a 1v1. the Royal 2 win so consecutively.
Absolutely. I also think it was a tough angle for TriPPPeY to challenge from anyone who's played that angle. When you're coming in off of the TriPPPeY into long haul, trying to challenge Attic with a commando, and the player's now bouncing around long haul, that's not easy. And like you said, there was a big domino effect, a knock-on effect, where Shopify has now taken the 3-kill lead.
Biggest lead of the game so far. Cykul finds another one as well. LastShot looks left, looks right a little bit late. And gets hit by the bus as he crosses the road. Cykul, though, into the tower on the flank, picks up 2, and it's a 5-kill advantage now for Shopify.
And now at the 25-20 mark, they're starting to pull away, now 26-20. Let's get into a listen-in here with Shopify Rebellion.
Nice. Long arm. Back. Yo, I have shot. Yo, shoot him, you're at balance. Yeah, it's one day, there's one over.
One has shock and red.
Place, I just left me 3. I'm punching a weak, punch weak, killing him. Red One more top red, two top red. Top weak, one hit stairs. He's on the stairs.
Yo, I might be on you, Preston. I'm trying to watch your cat.
Yo, camo 15 Matt when you spawn, okay?
Yo, 2 top goal guys, they're not moving. Red stairs.
Yo, I'm getting to Preston.
Turban weak. Turban 2 in a row.
Okay.
Yo, watch my top cat.
Bingo weak.
Camo 5. Do you red? Missing one.
Nice. Let's go.
Two spawners.
Yeah, spawn. Red steps weak.
Spawning on you, Preston.
We got 2 bikes on me. 2 right.
No, it's one to white.
Watch out for dead.
Should be 3 in. One spawning out.
One more word. Nice.
One out.
Yo, run at this guy. I think he's spawned A. I think he's hiding in the corner.
I'm checking it. Nobody, we're good.
They're hard spawning back.
Yeah, they're hard.
Watch out. Nice, you did.
Victory.
Yo, push out.
There's a lot to love about that listening for Shopify Rebellion, and they are now in a commanding lead. Think how close this was when we went into the listening. It's 42-27 now.
Game has been blown wide open there, and once again, if you're a Shopify Rebellion fan, you love the comms that you're hearing. These guys are so intense, and undoubtedly the most intense that we have within the top 4 in terms of speed and excitement within the comms. So much to talk about, but it feels like we're going to watch the home stretch first. We'll be able to break down that listening. Only 6 more kills to go.
A couple of kills go the way of FaZe, but it's going to have to be more than that. And I've got to say, this guy's so impressive. LastShot falls here, but how many 5 shots does he hit when someone is G-sliding across in front of him as well? It's not just a case of worrying about your strafe and trying to avoid it if you can't hit a G-slide. He'd hit you anyway, even if you're moving as quick as you can on this map.
LastShot for the 2nd game in a row. Look at him leading the entire lobby and the team. 14-8 here. Cykul not far behind, 13-8. These 2 guys, as we said, 2 of the youngest players in the HCS with the #1 seed, and they are hand-in-hand statistically as they lead by 10.
More damage coming out of LastShot, keeps himself alive for a few seconds as well, gets information on Pznguin. Frosty's going to move in and get a double kill based off some damage that picked up elsewhere on the map. TriPPPeY goes in. LastShot. Oh, it's a big individual fight won by TriPPPeY. But is it too little too late here for FaZe? It's only 4 to go here for Shopify Rebellion.
They do find 2 dead. Would require, we'll just say it, a miracle to come back in this one, but 3 kills to go.
Express trying to chase down LastShot. Again, LastShot just such a nuisance. Just knows he hasn't got any support. Just bides a few more seconds, and even though Suppress gets that kill, Shopify back on the map. The 3 shots coming in from TriPPPeY, but Frosty's there to trade it out. Frosty will get a second, and Frosty will close it out here for Shopify Rebellion. 50-40 is your final score, and Shopify look hot.
FaZe Clan comes in undefeated, and they lose the first 2 against Shopify Rebellion, who had their number in each of these game types. It's a decisive 50-40 win in game number 2. 14 kills for LastShot, 13 for Cykul, 12 for Frosty, and the Royal Flush, Royal 2 with 11. Straight down the stat line. You really can't ask for anything better from this squad.
Yeah, nobody negative in the Slayer. That's perfect.
That's how you win.
And you're looking at the assists as well. 2 players double digits. LastShot and Royal 2 was 7 and 8 respectively. That is almost impossible to play against when you end up with statistics like that. But this gives us an opportunity to just go back to that listening, because that was something we were kind of really focusing in on, and there was a couple of things that you loved about the way that Shopify would communicate.
Yeah, I think first of all, everyone's gonna just, I think, be on the same page that it's amazing to hear the intensity as we take a look at some highlights from this game. when they're up by 10 and they're getting the 4th kill, they're popping off. They're like, last guy, dead! When they're up by 10, it's amazing to listen to. This was a challenging battle here for TriPPPeY, especially against Royal 2. That's not easy to win. In the end, the domino effect, look, it was 17-17. Royal 2 then, who just stayed alive, as you said, gets the kill on Fal. They burned that camo, and then things started to unravel very quickly. But specifically in the listening, I also love an amazing call from Frosty that if you're watching in the arena or you might have heard from home, Frosty specifically says, Matt camo spawning in 15. And he's calling out who is going to make the camo play. He's calling it out while Matt's in the death screen, Royal 2, and he's saying, you're going to be the one. That's typically a coach call. So that's amazing for Frosty in the comms to be saying, Matt, you're the one who's going to get camo. It's up in 15 when you spawn. That is your focus. Very important IGLing and play calling coming in from Frosty. Let's not forget, we heard him doing it yesterday as well with huge play calls of take your 1v1s.
So you can go back a step further. He says, let Matt die, just before he makes that play call as well. That means that don't leak extra deaths. Don't try and keep Royal 2 alive in this situation, because we can give up 1 death, but if we try and keep him alive, it could be 2, could be 3, and then we all know what happens off the back of 3 or 4 dead at this level. So all of that kind of thinking, it's not just communicating what we're doing now, it's let's think about a lifetime. Let's think about what our next priority is. Let's think ahead and see if we can keep either our advantages in our favor or just kind of reduce our risk for the next play that might be a little bit bigger. This is how the series is looking. 3-2 Origin flag went the way of Shopify Rebellion after a good comeback from FaZe to tie it up at 2-2, but 50-40, Shopify look like they really are on a roll here as we head towards King of the Hill on LiveFire.
Yeah, it's so hard to play against too, because I think what they also bring forward, Shopify, is in those intensity of those comms, they're so quick and they're just hungry to collapse on you in those slayers, and we saw it time and time again. And it is that go, no-go call, like you just mentioned. Halo Infinite is all about, off of the spawn, you have to immediately decide, are you helping teammates? Are you part of this current fight, or are you not? And that's why, like you said, in the example where Frosty says, let Royal 2 die. We are not flying off spawn to help him. We are letting him die. We are setting up elsewhere. The flip side of that is that they can make the opposite call and be right back in the battle and continue collapsing and keep their opponent in the blender. That's what they've done so far in this series.
Well, for FaZe, it's going to have to be a reverse sweep if they want to go directly into that finals. Otherwise, it's going to be a date with Optic if they cannot fight 3 games in a row here in that elimination bracket final. And let's remember, of course, if Shopify Rebellion win this next game, they have a series advantage as well. Whoever comes to that elimination bracket will have to beat them twice in the grand finals if they want to be crowned champions. And with the way that Shopify are playing, that seems like a tall order for anyone who you put on that main stage.
And of course would be an opportunity for the first time, should they take any of these next 3 games, for Cykul and LastShot to be an official major grand final at an event. A lot riding on it for them. They've made it look easy so far, but make no mistake, they certainly understand what's on the line, and there's still 1 game to win.
Well, King of the Hill is going to be where we find ourselves. Shopify did beat C9, but a little bit earlier in this tournament, but they did lose this game type to Optic Gaming at our kickoff little teaser, the K-Sound Invitational that we saw before our first major of the season. So there may be something to work on here for FaZe, and I feel like FaZe, when you're looking at game types, King of the Hill's ones that suits them. Setup-based game type, where they can hold their angles, they can output damage without having to be too aggressive and mobile on the map. It's a comfortable feeling game type for them, and it's going to have to be if they want to keep this series going.
Yeah, so far good on King here, winning their King game type that we've seen them play in bracket play so far. However, Shopify, as we said, also looking quite good overall in King of the Hill. But if we had to pick one, or I should say, if FaZe had to pick one game type that they'd want to play in King, or one map specifically, it would be this King of the Hill live fire. So if you are a FaZe Clan fan, a fan of these players, this might be an opportunity to come back into this series.
Well, it looks like FaZe are getting situated and ready to go into this game, and it is a must-win game for them if they want to keep this series going. Otherwise, like I mentioned, it's a date with Optic Gaming, and it might be an awkward date, one that doesn't go too well for either side if they will go into that elimination bracket and fall to the green wall. Looking at some of our stats, some of the players to keep your eyes on, 2.06 kills per minute, the highest in the entire tournament. That man, Royal 2, when it comes to King of the Hill, he's a little bit different.
And like we heard at the K-Sound Showdown, Royal 2 saying he feels like he needs to kind of reprove himself, which is crazy to hear from a player of his pedigree and a player with his legacy, but he is doing that so far this year, redefining a new era for himself. And man, what a weekend it's been so far. We'll start things off with him. We'll see if he could do it again.
Well, let's see if FaZe have got something to say about this series. Let's see if FaZe can answer back. TriPPPeY with the first kill of the game is going to give them somewhat of a foothold. It's actually going to be 2 dead off the break here for Shopify Rebellion. And there's a grenade that's going to give TriPPPeY the info on where Royal 2 is as well. It's FaZe who grabbed that snipe off the break. It's
a great start for FaZe. And if you missed it yesterday, TriPPPeY was hitting some historic clips that I feel like we're going to be seeing in highlight packages all season long, with a triple followed by an over on this exact map. And he's going to look to do the same amount of damage yet again. Starting things hot, taking down Royal 2. That's the first priority, as they have some good progress here on hill number 1 and still a man advantage.
Yeah, really good start here for FaZe. Bearing in mind that they didn't have the best of spawns when it comes to live fire. If you have the opportunity, you want to be spawning closer to that first hill in and around the garage. They had to fight for it, and they already got half of it progressed in their favor. Camera got traded out as well.
Looking for the, where's the snipe?
It's somewhere
looking
around
for it. Might have fallen down that little crack.
I
think it'd be pesky little. Hasn't found it yet.
Yeah, forget about it at this point. Shopify are inside of that hill, and they need to start pressurizing this a little bit here, FaZe. They're trying to get the numbers. They do get that first pick as well, but there's 2 players stacked, and there's a flanker from Royal 2. So this is going to make it very, very difficult now, with Royal 2 continuing to flank where he knows the rest of Shopify are not looking. But FaZe turn around at just the right time, but the damage and the survivability here from Royal 2 is so impressive.
He thought he had a nade here. This is a big kill. We'll see if he's able to stay alive in this battle. 3 dead, takes to the sky, and wins that battle. Last player in is Pznguin. See if they can take him down. He's going to hold B for just a second. Here comes a collapse.
Pznguin needs to buy time to get his shields back. Frosty's flying at him, his half shields, but Cykul's already there to clean him out. And this is where we see both teams start to get a little bit desperate for this hill. 2 dead on the sides of FaZe. You get the feeling that if this push isn't successful, this one's going the way of Shopify Rebellion. But Falcated with a big individual win. It's that Shopify Rebellion are 3 dead, and maybe FaZe can steal this one away.
Very important win there. Still 2 dead. They're going to continue holding here. There's going to be 1 more hold on the contest.
They're contesting, they're buying time, they're being so difficult to clear out this hill here, Shopify Rebellion, and FaZe Clan quite simply can't find them at the moment. It's 2 dead on the side of Shopify, but it's 2 dead on the side of FaZe as well. LastShot at the back of green, 2 players in front of them trying to stay alive. Hits the QT. Can he buy even more time for his teammates to arrive? No, they can't. Look how close it is on both sides here.
Take a look at TriPPPeY. Needs to hold this down. Has to win these 1v1s on the back. Cykul's the last player alive, and he's trapped in house. This should be a FaZe hill.
Love the push from TriPPPeY. Even though he doesn't get that kill, it means he clears the space for FaZe to step inside, for Pznguin to cap that first hill, and FaZe will get the first point on the board.
Big for FaZe. As we said, this is their opportunity to get back in the series, and as you said, a must-win. It's 3 dead off the back of that as well, and it will be a suppressed camo. Perfect timing. Let's get into a listen-in with FaZe Clan.
Okay, run away.
Yo, pillars.
Where they going?
I'm just nothing but dummy door, I think. And nest.
Look top mid. Dummy door, I think.
Nest and bottom mid. On repulse, probably.
Yeah, on repulse now. Bottom mid. Two.
Bottom mid, last 2.
I'm here.
And then mid cut.
Look down. Yo, cut still.
Good top. I'm on top.
Oh, you done. Might spawn A.
Big door.
Back up. Could be bottom mid.
Am I turning it all the way?
No.
I'm hunting this.
I'm looking down. You're good. Watch it. I'm sitting in the vent. Once they play it, yeah, good play, Mike. Just hide forever, Mike.
About to score.
Go on. Nice.
Nest.
Three top.
Nest weak, Frosty. Shit.
Yo, allow me. I'm watching out. I'm not getting time.
Yo, pillars. In a week.
Watch out. Yo, back B kill.
Pillars 2 shot in this.
Yo, he's going pillar, going mud right here, Sam. Okay, one is going mud, guys. Get out. Jumping up nest now. Alright, that. Yo, gonna be top bomb tower.
Yo, hide big door, Donnie. You're last one.
Yo, I'm here, Donnie. I'm here. Ready?
Play together.
Here, Donnie.
Look at me. Yo, out dummies.
Back B, kill this guy. Back B. Shredding. Yo, in the tube.
Okay.
Yo, big door, weak. One shot. In the tube. Tube should die. Tube, one shot.
Nest.
Yo, nest and big door thing.
Big door out. Big door and hill, last 2.
Watch out, big door. Absolutely. Last guy hill.
Dummies spawn.
Yeah. Yo, spawn.
Yo, slime some X, guys.
Okay, last guy's hill. So, watch out.
Going right.
I'm around. Here.
I needed it. Don't hear. Watch out, roll 2.
Yeah, slime, guys. Careful.
Yo, top big door, weak sniping. Big door, weak sniping. Alright. I got hill there. I be using ammo. 12.
You're dead. Watching screens.
My bad. Bullet. Say, I'm looking back. I'm looking bottom mid, guys. Watching the keys.
You don't need to.
Yeah, I have it. Looking bottom mid. Ammo 10.
I'm mid half.
Got for sure. Dummy door. Last shot.
Got for sure.
Yo, big.
I'm looking big. Stay on.
He's
gonna go flat. He's on it.
Right.
Yeah, rat.
plat.
Two big door. One's one.
Come here.
Nice trade. A plat going A plat now. Cykul. Last guy A plat. Last guy A plat. And hit. He's on the pillar. Sitting on the pillar. Not moving on the pillar. On big door. Second one plat.
One on the pillar. On the pillar dead. Back pillar.
Watch out that game. Watch out rat.
Go.
Nice. I'm going out tower, guys. I'm going tower.
Hey, boys.
Going tower.
Going mud.
Yo, towers on me. Last shot. Towers on me. Two shot. Towers on me. Two shot.
Mud down here. Mud. Watch on this. Watching our flank.
Yo, listen. What's W door to pillar door now? Pillar door now. I'm going up easy.
Bottom mid gone. Once it's hill, one's bottom mid.
Well, if you thought that Shopify were going to run away with this series, well, FaZe have answered that question. It's 3-0 for FaZe, and they have looked incredibly impressive here on Livefire.
And like we said, not just in terms of the game type, but even the momentum here, it seems to be playing in their favor. What a start from them, and also how great to get that extended listening with this side. And they sound so cool, calm, and collected the way they're just going about their business here and holding down the back of the base, really making sure they're isolating and focusing the exact areas of the map that they need to. And for a second, it felt like Shopify might steal that hill. That is not the case. FaZe closes it out yet again. Frosty not done yet. See if we can put together decent amount of time on the clock. I was going to say the same thing.
Lots of time here for Shopify Rebellion to formulate a comeback, but the more time that gets burnt off that clock, it's going to be more difficult for Shopify, of course, to cap those hills in time with 3 already gone. Frosty's body and a headshot and everything that moves at the moment, as you would expect of a player who has been one of the standouts so far this season, but time is a factor. Even though there is time, Shopify are going to have to know that they can't really spend time outside of the hills if they want to give themselves a chance to get back into this one. They've got about 30% of this hill already capped, though.
Has to be said as well during the listen, and what a run from Suppressed, huh? With that sniper rifle camo combo, just a huge part of why they're up 3-0. And still a lot of gameplay yet to play. We'll see how this last hill goes, but as you say, every second now getting more precious for Shopify.
Also one of the best call-outs in the listening we've heard in quite a while. Hide forever.
It really was. The call-out was to Falcated, and I believe it was Mikey hide forever, as they were trying to bait top middle, and might not have been a literal meaning of hide forever, but he certainly got the damage that he needed to. And as we continue to watch this mud hill, it's still now 1:47 left on the clock. FaZe is going to... Oh my!
Those little moments can be game changers, momentum changers, and TriPPPeY throws a blind nade top middle and gets the kill onto Frosty. And off the back of that, hey, think about what happened with the Royal 2 kill in the previous game. He gets camo, he lines up the shots, and now he's on a killing spree.
This is what camo and a 3-kill lead can do! You can go wherever you want on the map, almost turns 3. Getting hunted down by Frosty. He stayed alive! He's so cool! He is so cool, no panic from TriPPPeY. And he lets the team finish the work. That was 3 dead. Home stretch here for FaZe Clan. 70 seconds left on the clock.
Little moments with big consequences. That is another one. This time it goes the way of FaZe. This time it goes the way of TriPPPeY. And what a run that is from him. 1 minute left on the game clock, and with 3 hills still capped and complete control of the tower side of the map as well. FaZe are just burning seconds off of that clock and getting closer to getting their first game on the board.
Beautifully done here. 2 will fall. TriPPPeY is going to be your last player alive and eventually taken down, so not over just yet. Shopify will jump in immediately. They will look to hold, if they can, throughout the entirety of the rest of this hill, and it looks like, based on the numbers, they will get this one and they'll be ready to rotate.
Just under a minute left on the game clock, but still very doable, but it's going to have to be a hell of a performance from Shopify Rebellion on these next 2 hills. Top middle is such a difficult one to lock down without taking damage, without having to step in that hill and expose yourself to grenades. Cykul's going to have to force it here. Trades will be big here for FaZe. If they can trade out consistently, they will win this game. It's 2 dead on either side, and TriPPPeY has control of the tower. Such a vital spot to be holding at this point in the game.
Also, they do grab snipe. Pznguin drops with snipe, which is going to be big here, especially with the amount of time on the board. They get the first pick, which is massive, and they get the second, sending Frosty for a neck-breaking backflip, 3 dead. This should be the victory lap here for FaZe Clan.
Pznguin smartly after that play relocates to the top of the tower, spreads his wings and says, Shopify Rebellion, you're going to have to go through my reticle, and if you do, more than likely going to hit you in the head with this sniper rifle. Smartly throws it off. It's 3 dead here for FaZe. 15 seconds left on the game clock, though. This should be the home straight.
No tariffs here for Pznguin. You're not slowing this man down. He's going to spread those wings, and he's going to fly, as you say, the home stretch. Shopify going to try to make something happen, but is going to require an absolute miracle here. Watch these next few picks. This might be the end.
Suppressed with a 1v1 win against Frosty as well. That's going to be a confidence booster for him. And even though Shopify is still inside of this hill, wait a minute, I say still inside of this hill, Falcated's last alive. There's still time. 13 precious seconds.
Imagine.
Here for Shopify Rebellion.
They might get this one. They're going to have to do it again.
We've seen perfect hills in that first hill.
There it is. Okay, the Hill's on the board now. Need to rotate immediately. Hill is rotating. Penguin's going to be first there. They're obviously going to play time. FaZe already has backbeat, 10 seconds left.
This is going to be an all or nothing push, but FaZe are 2 dead. Frosty goes down.
Oh,
Royal 2. Going to put him to no shields.
3 seconds.
Cykul trying to stay alive. They get inside of it. Cykul has the sniper rifle. But here comes Falcated and here comes TriPPPeY. They should be able to clean this one out. They do clean this one out. FaZe hold on, and FaZe will put their first game on the board here in this series. It's 2-1 now. And they've shown that they can hang with Shopify.
Wild for that game to end 3-2 based on what we saw from the entire game.
Correct.
However, FaZe is not going to worry about that. They're only going to worry about the win-loss column. And they will take the win. They will stay alive to force us at least to a game number 4. Looking at some of the stat outliers, it's going to be TriPPPeY. 20 and 13 in that game. By far the most positive, not just on the team, but in the lobby.
That run that he went on with as well, with that sniper rifle, with that camo, with that repulse, all of those little things, those little moments. It was the blind grenade to top middle under pressure that took down Frosty. Off that, goes to get the camo.
Yep.
Headshot, gets another kill, stays alive. Back to all of these things. This is what we talk about. When we say, like, things have never been closer in Halo, like, it's those moments, right? That doesn't happen the first part. The rest of it does not exist. We're not talking about it.
Exactly.
And that's the game-changing moments we see.
It's amazing knock-on effect, as you said, as it happened. Also, getting that camo lets him take crazy unorthodox dummy angles all the way in that kind of dummy corner. LastShot's not expecting anyone to be sniping all the way from that left side. As you say, picks up those kills, then just plays his camo so well to allow his teammates to push in, then hits the repulse. Really keeps a cool head in that situation. And let's not forget, with how close that game became, if he doesn't make plays like that, we could be at a very different point here. FaZe actually could be walking off the stage as that game ends 3-2. Also, this return to sender, that was beautiful as well. A little bit of a highlight reel from TriPPPeY, and not surprising, when he puts up a 20 and 13 performance, you're going to get clips in the replays as well.
What point of view, what team were we watching the point of view of the sniper from most of that game? It's FaZe, right? It's FaZe. It's a very simple thing we keep reiterating, but the power this weapon has on this map cannot be underestimated, and TriPPPeY is going to give you an illustration of a visceral example of exactly what. I thought he was going to hit it.
I know, but I have to say, this is so well, right? You can just dodge. He's not going to shoot, not going to melee, and right when they get close, uses that repulse to get out of that. And let's not forget, it was still 3-0 at that point. So for this game to end 3-2, the fact that he's making those plays is buying his team tons of time. Pznguin as well, putting on a show, and this was a very nice final collapse as they take down 3. The clock will tick to 0, and they will win King of the Hill live fire 3-2. As we said, that was identified. We even talked to B-Man about it this morning. We talked to Best Man. We asked him about this whole series layout. He said, I don't really remember the game types. We said, no problem. We'll pull them up for you.
We got you covered.
We have them right here. And we took a look at these game types with Best Man, and he did identify that that game 3 was a potential tough one. It's also a very strong game type for Optic, so Shopify knew that there was going to be work to be done. In the end, it's FaZe Clan that capitalizes on that, and they will send us now to an Assault Aquarius, and now it feels like we've got a series on our hands.
Doesn't it just, especially when we have this particular game type. And let's take ourselves back to preseason. Now, it was a flag game that FaZe were involved in, which was one of the grindiest Aquarius flag games we have ever seen.
Yep.
It ended 1-0, and FaZe, I think, captained the first 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And just ground out the result. Did not let their opponents inside of that base. So if, and it's a big if, of course, FaZe can get that bomb planted first, they know how to hold the map for more than a couple of minutes, shall we say. Aquarius is, of course, where we find ourselves. Shopify looking to close the series out, but FaZe looking to send this the distance, looking to send this to a game 5.
Already underway. Both teams have very impressive bomb records so far, and now this is going to be a grueler based on what we've seen. Can FaZe Clan capitalize on the momentum they've built from that game number 3 and bring it here into a 4th game? Of course, keep in mind, should FaZe Clan win, we will be going to a series-deciding Game 5 Slayer.
Oh, it's 4 dead, though, off the rip here. Cykul's got that camo, and the bomb is going to be progressing very, very soon as well. And it's a camo run as well with this bomb in the hands of Cykul. Drops it for a second to pick up 1 kill. And look at the damage output. Still alive somehow or other with his camo.
Should also mention Falcated, one of the best KDs on this specific game type at the tournament. We'll see if we can keep that going here up against Shopify Rebellion.
Shopify kind of trapped in the back of their base at the moment. Excuse me, FaZe are trapped by Shopify in the back of their base. I like the slow, methodical deliberate pace that Shopify are playing this. They have the bomb down in the courtyard, although it looks like it might reset in just a second's time. They were prioritizing kills, they were prioritizing space before they moved that objective, and with 3 dead once again, they'll go back for that bomb now.
Frosty 5-1 off the opening. That's the start you would want it from him, as he's also now running the objective work to the shroom stairs. They've kept 2 dead throughout all of this.
Oh, he stays alive.
Somehow he eats that nade, does not take it down. Still 4 players alive and still 2 dead. Should start the arm in just a second. It's a 2v3 in the back of the base.
Cykul's still alive inside the base as well, and here comes the flank from Royal too. It's perfectly timed. TriPPPeY's the only one who can maybe stop this, but Frosty knows that TriPPPeY's got no shields. He almost gets the arm. Does he get the arm? Yes, he does. It's by a fraction of a second, but Shopify will make the most of the slay advantage they had at the start of that game. They're up by 1.
So nicely done there, and Frosty knew he had to just time that. Sometimes you need to get on the block, you need to be ready to bomb melee. You have to make that game time decision. Maybe you have spawners shooting from your base. There's a lot of factors coming in Aqua Bomb, but instead he just dances around the nades, decides to hold, and it pays off. Shopify with an early lead here. And they know this could be the last game of the series, and man, if you were on Shopify Rebellion, you want this to be the last game of the series.
You also want to be the team who scores first here on Aquarius Bomb, because now you control the pace of the game. Shopify have to just make sure that that bomb doesn't advance too far on the map. If they can get it onto the face side of the map, it makes life so much easier for them, because then they can play around it, knowing the eyes have to at some point trace from bodies towards where that bomb is progressing. You can see that LastShot's having a wrap back with this camera that he's managed to pick up towards his base. His FaZe have made some good progress with that bomb, but it looks like now they've cleaned their base out, and LastShot, he's hunting again.
Absolutely, the 1 bomb cushion, I mean, it means such a difference. It's so much bigger than a 1 flag cushion, because you can really just toss the bomb out, quick jump to your flag, and you can play camos sneaky and tactically like we just saw LastShot do. You don't have to realize, oh man, we've got the camo, I have to be the aggressor. Instead, you could just work on game management, and they have a feeling that's what we're going to see from Shopify, just trying to play smart bomb.
LastShot finds another kill here. It's 2v2 on the map. He knows there's somebody around, and it's going to be suppressed. There's a 4 and a 5, but not enough. Not enough. It's suppressed who takes down LastShot in a battle that normally we see him win, and that's going to be a big moment here for Don. He's going to keep himself going forward to try and pressurize, but Frosty with a double kill elsewhere. He's no progress on that bomb up the map here on Aquarius.
TriPPPeY and Suppressed in trouble. Collapse likely coming in fierce. 1 gust, both of them are collapsed on now. So Killstone traded out by the spawner. It's a big set of kills from Pznguin as he spawns car and is able to fight back.
Cykul.
Eventually taken down. Falcated last player alive as the rest of FaZe Clan will be spawning up.
You can see, like, from the point of view, how frustrating that is for Pznguin. Both players are no shields. He's like, he's going to jump at some point. Let me put my reticle on. And he's like, oh, maybe he's not. And the moment he thinks he's not, Cykul pops up, hits the headshot. It's such a synonymous play with how Cykul plays his life so well. It makes himself so difficult and can survive and get an extra kill where a lot of other players wouldn't.
By the way, moments ago, actually, FaZe Clan had 2 players that were yet to register a kill. They've certainly caught back up, but if we look at the slaying department, how about World 2 out of nowhere, 12 and 6 here? Double positive at this stage of the game, and like we said, quietly going about his business, reminding everyone just how good he is at this game. Amazing numbers from him so far.
Camo was up a few moments ago. Not sure if anyone has picked it up as yet. Threat sensor goes down. There is the camo. It's Falcated who gets taken down, so camo will be burned here. And TriPPPeY will be last alive for FaZe. He's trying to chase down Royal 2. Royal 2 giving some good output of damage, even though he was down in the fight. But TriPPPeY, most importantly, stops bomb progressing, keeps numbers on the map here for FaZe.
So slight man advantage here. Suppress falls right away off the respawn. It feels like Shopify has really had not just game management, but also, once again, if we look at that last camo burn, when they are able to force the burn, all they can think of, okay, perfect, let's just keep playing this exact game, right? It's frustrating for the other side. When you need a triple kill, by the way, comes in from Frosty, beautifully done. Looking for the last one, it's going to be Suppressed in the back of the base, who's not going to allow that to happen. But Frosty now stepping up to 14 and 7 in this game. He's also double positive.
It's just a classic Frosty play, right? He gets a double kill, he's no shields. He's not worried about the fact that he's got a double kill and survive. He's thinking, where's next? Who's next? Is this a fight that I can take? Can I turn a double situation into a triple situation?
And even if I can, I'm probably going to take it.
Exactly, I'm going to take that opportunity and take that risk. And more often than not for Frosty, those kind of plays work out.
LastShot tries to challenge bottom mid. Easier said than done. He'll be taken down, but eventually 2 did fall for Shopify, so Cykul knows off the respawn he needs to make something happen, but an advantage here for FaZe Clan. We'll see if they can move the bomb.
We were talking about Royal 2 stats a few moments ago. He slowed down, but Frosty's picked it up. He's 15 and 8, almost double positive himself. But FaZe now, not for the first time, have got a little bit of progress on where this bomb is positioned. They've got it into the Shopify Rebellion base, but not picking up the kills they need to even think about an arm at this point. 2 players fell on that push.
Surprising to see them go right in for that. You had a feeling on the timing. I think everyone watching as well kind of felt it. You have that spawn timer, kind of feeling that in your bones, if you will, and it felt like TriPPPeY was just going straight to the arm spot, and there was a player back base, and it immediately shuts it down, and they find 2 dead. So they're gonna need to make sure they're doing a little bit of that pre-slaying before they get that bomb in. Camo for Suppress, though. What can he do here?
Well, he's gonna take the 1v1 and give his position away to LastShot. LastShot turns his attention to another fight. And it works out pretty well. Just taking that moment to breathe here with the camo for Suppress. Cykul inside of the base, 3 shots onto him. Make that forward, doesn't have any grenades to pick this one up, and again, Cykul being a nuisance. Suppress finally gets the headshot, but this is an opportunity now. Camo has gone. The kills on the side of the Shopify base should mean some progress can be made, especially with Falcated again being aggressive towards the pink side.
Look how long Cykul's staying alive on the top of the base. Waste of the camo, right? And if Cykul dies right away, that means Suppress flies into the util bridge still with camo. Instead, you just saw it dissipate because Cykul eats an extra 3 or 4 seconds. It's little plays like that that can make such a difference.
And that was 3 dead for FaZe, and now you got LastShot in behind you. Flanking these P1 spawns. Finds one. And there's a bounty to be found down on P1 at the moment.
Target rich.
Players to be damaged by LastShot. I think 3 took down 1, output damage onto 2 others. And it's going to be 2 dead for FaZe off the back of it.
Objective ready.
We talked about just how important that first arm would be, and has Shopify ever played a game management game or what? Now 4:36 all of a sudden left in the game, and they're simply making sure they maintain the advantage on the map. If there's an opportunity to push, they will, but for now they will just deal damage and otherwise trade and make sure the bomb does not get dangerously close to their base.
Team like Shopify, knowing that there's only going to be spawns on one side of the map here, they can play the midpoint. It's not like a Slayer Wing and have those dynamic spawns in behind you. We have to keep your head in the swivel. They can just look forward, and with 4 dead here for FaZe and the camo popping, they might start to think about a second bomb plant here. With 4 minutes left on this game clock, they are indeed inside of the base. They are indeed getting that bomb down, and they are indeed going to get that bomb armed. It's 2-0 for Shopify.
Beautifully done there by Frosty. Identifies right away the fridge spawner, blind nades it, grabs camo, makes sure to kill the player before they get in the back of the base from the fridge door, which really paved the way. And then thereafter, he has to lay down shots on the fridge quick jump. It's just beautifully done. 2-0 now with only 4 minutes left. Feels like an impossible task for FaZe Clan, but they've got to hit the gas, and they've got to do it now if they want to stay alive in this series.
Good damage output this time from Frosty as well. Still alive. Finally Suppressed with a grenade towards the Jen. Is going to take him down, and the bomb now starting to move. Cykul will be taken down on the bottom of the car side. He is indeed. It's 2v2 on the map. It's a split. That bomb has progressed, and Royal 2 behind enemy lines are going to get the numbers on his side.
3 dead, Falcated, last player alive, and they know where he is. Frosty is on the hunt. And a 1v1 there, and we'll take them down. That's what we talk about with Shopify. When they need to win those ones, when they need to identify the last player to collapse on, they will do it time and time again. Frosty is 25-12, still double positive at this stage in the game.
That's an insane statistic, 25-12, and there's still 3 minutes left in this game for him to add even more. Cykul slides out and manages to take down 1, slowing down Frosty for just a few seconds. It's 3 dead here for Shopify Rebellion, but only for a few seconds. There's somehow LastShot in that situation. A straight 2v1 gets out with a FaZe soul to his name as well. TriPPPeY now moving this bomb towards the car side. Falcated's going to be there trying to give him some support, but FaZe needs to start moving this bomb in soon because time again is starting to be a problem.
First pick goes to Shopify. That's going to really slow down the push here. Second pick does as well now in the momentary 3v2.
Coming up. You knew he only wanted to trade in that situation, which is going to just clear his side of the map. Cykul inside the back of the base, he gets his trade as well, and trades are great if you're defending your base. If you can trade, it means the spawns, they're a long way away from that bomb, they're a long way away from your side of the map, and there's a long way away from your respawns.
Important touch on the bomb here, but the help needs to come, and it needs to come fast. They have a momentary man advantage, and they do get the touch. Can they get the slays here to get the arm?
Similar situation to what we saw. No nades here for Suppressed, and that could be good. If he had a frag grenade, that situation looks a lot different, but here comes the flank now from Pznguin. Royal 2 just buying time again, and it's 4 dead for FaZe Clan. Shopify Rebellion need to hold on for 1 minute and 45 seconds.
One answer back, they just continue to get that first pick, and when they don't, they find a way to clear out the back of their base. Now, what felt like it was going to be a FaZe Clan arm opportunity is shut down immediately, and that bomb is right back out of the table. LastShot, however, last player alive.
Last time his last player alive, he managed to at least pick up 1 kill, do damage to another. And I like this play from LastShot. I like this a lot. Flanking back, but a really good recognition of the situation that someone was missing. Hector goes back to his base, gets that kill. 2 dead for Shopify Rebellion. And this time Suppress had a couple of grenades, and it might take a couple of bodies. Cykul in the back of the base gets the kill, but the last player alive is LastShot. Where is that bomb?
4 dead for FaZe as well. 4 dead for FaZe, and LastShot is shooting bodies. And it felt like FaZe would have had 1 player left, but instead they're completely slayed out in the end. The kills are perfectly traded. And now with only 1 minute left in the game, it would require 2 back-to-back perfect slays from FaZe Clan.
That bomb is in an annoying position for them to even access as well, and LastShot is just flanking everyone at the moment who's taken damage. He's running around the map, he's having a little bit of fun. He turns back to say, hey Falcated, I know where you are with that bomb. With 30 seconds left on the game clock, this is looking like it is going to be Shopify Rebellion. And LastShot, who's now 20 and 20, he was a little bit slow, and now he's pulled it back. Who will be taking this game.
Some celebratory bomb melees as well. The man goes coast to coast, flies back to his base, brings it right back to Falcated actually, and knows that with 11 seconds left, he will have his first trip to a grand final at an HCS major.
Delivers FaZe the bomb and says, hey guys, you forgot this for the entire game. Let's see if it's going to be a first final or maybe a first championship. That question's still to be answered, but one thing we know is that Shopify Rebellion make it through to the grand finals from the winner's side as well, and they will have a series advantage. On the other side of the stage is going to be FaZe, who have to go through Optic Gaming, weighing in that elimination final to find out who's going to go back to challenge Shopify later.
FaZe Clan comes into this series undefeated, had not dropped a single game all tournament, but in the first meeting of the Big Four, they fall in the series. And Shopify says the Sunday Scaries are no more. They win their first series here on Championship Sunday with a 3-1 win and lock in a grand finals appearance, the first one for the organization, and now also, as we said, for the 2 young guns on this squad. What an opportunity for them. They seized it so far in the winners final. And FaZe Clan, still more Halo to play. You could tell based on Suppress reaction there. Disappointment. But there's a lot more Halo to play for them, and they might find themselves right back up against Shopify, but it'll be a long road to get there.
Yeah, stay comfy, FaZe. You're going to stay on that main stage for a little bit longer. Like I mentioned, they've got an opportunity to play against Optic to make it to that final, but when you look at the statistics, it's Royal 2, 26 and 18 from him, 27 and 18 coming in from Frosty as well. And it's so, when you look at the Shopify team, even when 2 players are doing that, the other 2 players still pretty even across the board, outputting damage. It's just, the unit seems to work so well naturally together. It almost feels as if they can get better.
Yeah, and also what I love, what I'm seeing is you have different players and even different duos of players popping off, right? Sometimes it's the Cykul LastShot combo. In this one, you see Royal 2 and Frosty putting up big numbers. So it's amazing to see just how good every single one of these players is, and at any game's notice, each of them can pop off. And like you said, there were several moments where you felt like FaZe should have had the arm done, but what was it? 1 player in the back of the base winning a 1v1, 1 player dealing a little bit of extra damage, maybe getting 1 extra trade.
Surviving for 1 extra second. We saw that a few times as well.
And LastShot exchanging there. He saved it very wisely for a player of his age. Saves the shots to the body for when he was pretty sure mathematically it was done. By the way, I love the absolute just tour of the map with the bomb at the end. He goes coast to coast back to his own base to get the kill, then brings the bomb straight to the front door and says, here, you take this. 11 seconds left before we are in a grand final. Here's your final series layout.
3-2 Origin, Shopify Rebellion, 50-40 Slayer recharge. It was the King of the Hill, which FaZe probably thought they had an opportunity, and Shopify knew was one of their weak game types that went the way of FaZe. And then it was a 2-0 Assault Aquarius win to close out the series. You want to hear from member of Shopify?
I think we should. There's been a man who's been doing some great comms and some great IGLing. It's Blaze on the stage with Frosty.
Thank you so much, On-Set and Brav. Texas, make some noise for Shopify Rebellion. They move on back to the grand finals. You know, first grand finals was, I want to say, Shopify Rebellion as an org here, and first grand finals you've been to since London. How does that feel?
I mean, it feels great. Pairing up with this squad, it's like getting a grand finals first event. It's an amazing feeling.
It definitely is an amazing feeling. Now, coming up here against this FaZe Clan team, you know, they had not lost a map before they, you know, ran up against you guys. You know, seeing that on paper, planning for, what was your game plan to go up against them and kick the series off?
It's honestly just making sure we're doing our thing. They're a strong team. As long as we weren't like just falling over, giving them free kills, we were going to be able to get ours. And I mean, that was pretty much the game plan for them.
There you go, and it worked out very, very well. Now, as you go to a grand finals, you got 2 new teammates you're going to be playing with in the grand finals, their first grand finals. Well, talk to me about how proud you are of LastShot and Cykul for the skill in which, you know, they've shown all weekend and the composure to make it here.
Yeah, I mean, super proud of these guys, like, doing what they're doing this early, like, with how much experience they have, competing against, like, world champions, you know what I mean? They're doing such a good job. I mean, looking forward to the grand finals, but, yeah, I'm sure it's a good feeling for them as well.
I'm pretty sure it is. And lastly, get the Shopify fans hyped up all around the world. What do you want to say to them as you get prepared?
Hey, I appreciate you guys as always. We can hear you out there, and much love, much love.
All right, you guys, that's going to do it for me, Frosty, and Shopify Rebellion on the stage. Lot, take us away.
That 15-0 from FaZe Clan was clean, don't get me wrong, but when you meet a road bump that's in the form of Shopify Rebellion, it's just too big. That was incredible. I mean, my goodness me, Shopify Rebellion just lights out on the main stage, Shaz.
Yeah, I think if you're going to compare what those 2 losses in a row were like, it's like you wait for your public transport, you're waiting and waiting for a bus, and 2 come back to back. Those 2 losses were a dagger to the heart for FaZe Clan. They did manage to recover in Game 3, but the Frosty show, that kid's as cold as the bathroom floor in Game 4.
He very much is. I can't handle you sometimes on this desk. It is, you're right, the bathroom floor is very cold, especially if you have a certain type of tile on there. But yeah, the tile is frosty, to say the least. Incredible. There's so much to talk about, honestly, and break down in this series. Tony, first things first, before we really get into things with Shopify Rebellion and how good they are, let's just talk about what FaZe were able to do and how they were able to keep up to a certain degree. That map 3 was like a whole different team. They were able to take everything out of the hands of Shopify Rebellion and keep all of their main slayers at bay. It was like they just took the superstardom out of them, put it into themselves as if it was some kind of camo that they were putting into their chest.
Yeah, even going back to what we're watching on the highlights right now, yes, Shopify Rebellion did start off 2-0 in this game, but FaZe put back-to-back caps on the board, and eventually it was only a 1-cap game between the 2. Even going into that final game, the Slays advantage, it was only 3 kills in favor of Shopify Rebellion throughout the first 3 games, but that game 4, that was something else.
Yeah, I think you look at the story of the series was maximum efficiency. Game 1, Shopify Rebellion put 2 flag captures on the board immediately. FaZe do find their footing. I think Pznguin went from 1-7 to then all of a sudden he was 10-12, and all of a sudden it's a 2-2 game. But again, maximum efficiency. FaZe Clan give Rebellion an opportunity, they will take it, they will punish you, and they did that time and time again in this series.
Yeah, they certainly did indeed. I've got to say, in terms of stardom power coming across the screen, Frosty is the man of the hour, and rightfully so. It has been really all weekend long. He has had so much ice, so much ability, so much confidence in every single gunfight that he takes. To be honest, he had a quiet game 3. Don't get me wrong, he had a quiet game 3. FaZe were able to zip him up a little bit, but my goodness me, was his gameplay yelling across the screen in that final one. He got the job done.
Yeah, I think game 3, he got put in a body bag for a little while. TriPPPeY was just zipping them up and putting them away. That sniper rifle, and you can see he was hitting shots, but again, Frosty, you know, he's been in these big game moments, and oftentimes you find these series that it can go 3-0, particularly for a team like FaZe Clan who haven't been in the grand finals all too often. You look at players like Suppressed, sometimes the occasion can get the better of you, and these series don't really live up to the billing. But this time we've seen a really competitive series, and but for Frosty to take over in moments, especially when his team needed him, that was huge.
Yeah, I feel like coming into this tournament, you know, I did my power rankings and I said that LastShot was the #1 player coming into this tournament, but I feel like Frosty so far has had an MVP tournament here in Arlington. One player that hasn't really got much shine here on the desk is World 2. How consistent has World 2 been, and specifically in this series? I mean, as when it comes to KD, when it comes to winning a pivot and watching the backs of the rest of his team that he sees flying around, I think World 2 was very impressive, specifically against FaZe.
Yeah, I think Royal 2 is akin to heavy artillery. It might take a long time for him to actually move, but when he does, he hits pretty hard, that kid.
He certainly does indeed. I gotta say with Royal 2 specifically, we didn't see a whole bunch of POV screen time for him in that final map. The fact that he's putting stats up there that are basically the same as, if not, you know, up there with the likes of Frosty, who was popping off. I think it just shows you how important it is to have that relief of those slays from somebody like Royal 2 across the map. He's doing the kind of dirty work behind the scenes. You know, he is making sure that the team cannot get in it. He is making sure that his team live up. It is so important to have an anchor player on your squad, and Royal 2 does it so well. And lastly, a player that we don't mention too often, which honestly I don't know why we don't, but Cykul. How many times did you see a double kill from Cykul save the day across a map? How many times? It's countless. Cykul is always there when you need him the most. He is such a support role for this team. It's funny to see Royal 2 pick up the support role, you know, today in Arlington here, obviously with the commendations, but Cykul is a huge support on this team as well. They work so beautifully in tandem. It is so easy to compliment them because they really are, Jersey, right now the very best.